All right, I've got 6 o'clock. Are you ready? Okay. It is 6 o'clock, and today is Thursday, February 26th. This is the Olentangy Local Schools Board of Education regular meeting. It's a business session. So I'll call the meeting to order. Mr. Curran, please call the roll.
Yes. Mr. Bartz?
Here.
Mrs. Fiesel?
Here.
Mr. King?
Here.
Mr. White?
Here.
Mr. O'Brien?
Here. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. The flag's up here.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, now we move to approve the agenda. Everyone should have had emailed to them and then a hard copy placed in front of them, the agenda as well as the addendum to the agenda. So at this point I'll entertain a motion to approve as amended.
So moved.
A second, please.
I'll second.
Any discussion on the agenda? Okay, seeing none, please call the roll.
Mrs. Fiesel?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Bartz?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes. Okay, so the agenda is approved. Next item is our one and only presentation item for tonight on the student internship program. We've got from the staff, Claudia Wade and Sue Andrews, and students Christian Ponzak from Orange High School, Carly Schoonover from Liberty High School, and Christina Bauman from Olentangy High School. Did I get that right? Okay.
Hello, I'm Sue Andrews. Thank you for having us tonight. I'm from Liberty High School, and along with me are Claudia Wade from Orange High School and Linda Shank from Olentangy and Orange High Schools. And we're here tonight with our students to share with you information about the mentorship and the Teacher Academy programs. Both of these programs allow students to leave for a portion of their school day to experience a career of their choice. Students spend 40, 50, or more hours with a professional to learn more about this career as they plan for their future. These programs allow students to make better choices as they transition from high school to a career, and then, in order to better choices for post-secondary planning as they transition from high school to college. Tonight we have with us 3 students to share their experiences very briefly. My student is Carly Schoonover, and she's from Liberty High School, so welcome, Carly.
Hi, I'm Carly. I'm a senior at Liberty, like she said. I enrolled in mentorship originally because I want to go into healthcare, but I didn't really know exactly what area. So I did my first placement at Children's Hospital with their pediatric oncology team there. Then I did my second placement with occupational therapists and physical therapists at a branch of Children's. And for my third one, I'm going to be with Franklin County Public Health to kind of see more of the office side of healthcare and how that's carried out. So yeah, my goal pretty much was just to figure out where I want to end up after college, if I wanted to do pre-med, which that's what I'm leaning towards. So it's really helped me narrow down that, and mostly just get an experience that most high school students don't have the opportunity to get, and kind of have the mentorship program as leverage for that. And having AP classes, I feel like, has been really beneficial for my learning, but this program has given me something that I would never have been able to learn in your traditional class. Thanks.
Great.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Christian Ponzak. I enrolled into mentorship because I have been a career-oriented person since the age of 8, and I wanted to go out into the real world because I think the real world could prepare me so much more and in a better way than how a school environment can prepare me. My first mentorship placement was at P&D Builders. I started that over the summer. I was with Ed Snodgrass. He's a vice president and partner. And my second placement is currently with a chief investment officer with Berkshire Hathaway Company, and that internship has given me really great advantages. Today I had lunch with the CEO of Prudential, and I also have a chance to help sell $300 million worth of homes in the Central Ohio area and Northern Ohio area. So I feel very blessed to be able to have this opportunity, and I could not think of a better class to take than mentorship.
you.
Hi, my name's Christina, and I'm from Olentangy, and I'm enrolled in Teacher Academy. The Olentangy Teacher Academy is offered at all 3 high schools. In 2012, the Teacher Academy program was approved by the Ohio Board of Regents, and Teacher Academy allows me to experience what it's like to be a teacher actually in the classroom, because when I was little, I've always wanted to be a teacher. I always wanted to go into education. So this program has helped me not only see that being a teacher is what I want to do with my life, but it has helped me make a bunch of mentors in the process. I have so many teachers that I can go to now for help on that. This course gives you college credit if your portfolio gets approved by the Ohio Board of Education, and it helps me definitely save a lot of time and a lot of money, because if I didn't want to be a teacher, I realized before I got to college. So this course has helped me in so many ways, and I couldn't think of a better class to take. Thank you.
Do you have any questions for any of the students or the instructors?
I've had 2 of my well, I only have 2 daughters, but both of my daughters went through the program. And what is so nice, and Christina pointed it out, is that the students can realize if they really want to go into that field or if they don't. And if they don't, that's okay too, because now they know they need to go in another direction, and that's a learning opportunity in and of itself. And I've sat through some of the Teacher Academy presentations, and it's just such a great, worthwhile program. And they're out of school when they're doing the their mentorships. So sometimes they have to drive downtown, find a parking spot and dress up and act professional. So it's not just learning that career, but it's also more than that. It's being an adult.
Oh, that's great. Now I'll ask each or any of you if you want to answer. Did you feel like your internship experiences gave you kind of meaningful experiences? And the context of the question is, we do a number of rotations at work at Nationwide. We always try to make sure that it's meaningful work and close to what they'd actually be doing versus kind of busy work. And so do you feel like your assignments gave you that opportunity? Your opportunities, yeah. Good, that's great, that's good work.
Well, like with mine, I actually teach in front of my first graders. I have taught a lesson already. I've only been there for 3 days.
That's great.
So I've been in front of the class, and I've been doing a ton of different things within the classroom. So.
Great.
I would say with mine, with pediatric oncology, like one thing I was concerned about that is kind of the emotional aspect that goes behind that, and if I can handle it. And I definitely saw firsthand what that was like, and kind of that I could see myself doing it. So.
I definitely learned a lot through working in the real estate development arena. I got to help proofread contracts and edit them, and I got to go to a couple of open houses. So it's definitely given me a great view on what to expect.
Great. Anything else?
No, that's good. It's good stuff.
Well, thank you, and best of luck.
Thank you.
Finish your senior year.
Good job.
All right, thank you. Okay, the next agenda item is the board presence report. And I guess I've got one item, but I guess it's a 1A and a 1B. So first, let me take it. It's regarding Dr. Lucas. I think it's been already publicized, the announcement of his retirement. He asked me to read a letter, which I'd read to the board, and then I'll add some comments to it. So the letter is dated February 26, 2014. It's to the Board of Education. It states, after many months of reflection, I've decided to retire effective August 31st, 2015. This will end my tenure with the Olentangy local schools. It is with some sadness, yet great enthusiasm, that I make this decision. I'm grateful for the partnership with the Board of Education that has enabled me to focus on achieving significant accomplishments at Olentangy. I'm most proud of attaining substantial operational, academic, and financial efficiencies, providing numerous alternative educational opportunities for students, engaging in extensive community outreach opportunities, and establishing beneficial working relationships with representatives of state and local government. Olentangy schools and the Olentangy community will always hold a special place in my heart. I've had the great fortune to be associated with the people who are truly focused on the best interest of children. My appreciation goes out to the present and past board members who have given their talents, time, and efforts to the betterment of the 19,000 students we serve. Please accept my most sincere thanks for allowing me to be part of a very special time here at Olentangy. I have faith that our organization will continue the effort to keep Olentangy at the top. Thanks for the memories, and God bless each of you. Sincerely, Wade Lucas. Okay? And I'd add to that I want to take this opportunity to thank Dr. Lucas for his contributions to Olentangy over the past several years. For me, like many others, it's with mixed emotions that we accept his decision to retire. While we're happy for Dr. Lucas and his family to see his career at Olentangy finish on a high note, he will be missed by many, especially those early morning phone calls canceling or delaying school. But I do think it's important to recognize the things that Dr. Lucas was able to accomplish during his time here, and there were many. It's equally important to acknowledge and admire the manner in which he went about achieving them. Dr. Lucas always approached his job with the best interests of the district and community in mind, and could always clearly articulate his vision for the district. Wade never shied away from difficult issues, and while we always didn't agree on the issues, we always had a healthy level of respect for each other's opinion. At the end of the day, you can't ask for more than that. So thank you, Dr. Lucas, and best wishes. Okay. So part B of this discussion, or at least the President's report, is the search process. I would recommend to the board that we, I'd say, follow a couple steps. One is, since it's already been publicized, search firms are already eager to put their proposals in front of the board. I have one in hand already, and I know several are en route. So most likely we'll probably receive 4 to 6 proposals from search firms. As soon as we start to get them all in, we'll get them out to this group for review. I recommend that we'd invite 1 to 2 in for an interview at a special board meeting that we'll have to get our calendars together and set a date. At that board meeting, we'd interview kind of 2 finalists, choose one, and then start the process of a search, similar to the treasurer search that we ran, I guess, a year ago, 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
3 years ago?
2.
I would expect it to be a 3 to 4 month process with, typically a month to build a candidate base, some screening, a couple rounds of interviews, a mixture of board, administration, community involvement in that process, with the goal of obviously getting someone under contract, for August 1st, so we can open the school and have about a 30-day overlap in that superintendent's role. So I think that's the approach we should take, unless anyone else has some other thoughts to offer. Okay, so I will start compiling the proposals and get them out to you, and then we'll start working on setting a date, probably in the second half of March, which may be a little tough with spring break, although spring breaks won't that last week.
It's not till the end of the month.
Late. Yeah,
So we'll
last
try to
week.
get
Week of the 30th.
Last week.
The first week of April.
Terry will probably reach out to everybody. I assume everyone's going to want to participate in the process to select a new superintendent.
That is part of our job.
Okay, excellent. And we'll have a chance to also cover some of the retirement when we do the board action item. I think each of you will have an opportunity to speak. Okay. So with that, I will turn it over. That will conclude my President's report, and I'll turn it over to Dr. Lucas for the Superintendent's report.
I might have to take my water up for this. I promise it won't last that long now. I see some of you, you're rolling your eyes back here, Jack. Well, first of all, thank you all, and I'm not really going to address specifics of the retirement till at the very end, because obviously life goes on, and we have a lot of great things happening in the school district, and we'll continue to do so. So I want to get through a superintendent's report first, and then I promise just about, maybe you have to allow me roughly 5 to 10 minutes to thank a lot of people, and then we will go from there. But first and foremost, good things. We have the district spelling bee winners. 10 of the 52 students, by the way, Ohio students, that is, going to the regionals are from Olentangy, and that will be March 14th at Ohio University. I'm not going to read those names, but you see the names, you see the schools. Once again, we're extremely proud of those individuals for representing Olentangy, both in the district, and I'm sure we wish them luck, and I'm sure they'll do extremely well at the regional competition. We had National Athletic Signing Day. I believe that was, I want to say 3 weeks ago, something like that. Scholar athletes announcing their college choices at Olentangy. We had 5, Liberty 4, Orange 2. Those continue to roll in, by the way, and I know we had some offers today for a few of our athletes, and they are we have one specifically as a junior. I won't say anything about it, but it was, all I'll say is it's a great, great city with a great, great professional football team in it, and you make your conclusions from there as to where that would be.
It's probably Pittsburgh, I'm guessing.
That's right. That's a great guess.
I'm sure he'll love Boston.
Oh, Boston. That's good. Another good thing, Orange High School student Lexi Daniel, I don't know if you followed this or not, but student dancer, and she's been featured in the Washington Post, the Huffington Post, People Magazine, MTV. The YouTube video of this young lady, her dance has gone viral and now has more than 1 million views. So we're extremely proud of Lexi and what she has accomplished over her lifetime, and we wish her well. She's been extremely successful and will continue to do so. So we're very, very proud of her, and we wanted to make sure everyone knew and understood that that's a great thing, not just a good thing for Lexi. Park update, you've all been, if you've been to the board meetings, you know we've had these conversations and we'll continue to do so. Testing week, and we have about 10,800 students taking the test, and we have to fight the weather, and I have been accused of having school because of the test, and then the two, it's something else. It really is. And by the way, testing and weather does not go hand in hand in regard to decision making. But I do want to address that last bullet there. 193 students eligible, 193 eligible students exercised their right to opt out. I do want to. I hope and I think this is the case. Students have always had the opportunity to opt out of testing, always. And of course, it's been publicized this year more so because it's Park and it's new. So my only hope, and you've heard me say this 100 times, let's not lump testing with Common Core and state standards, because I'll go back once again. You have to have standards in place to have a great educational system. I don't care if you call them the Common Core, I don't care if you call them the Ohio standards, I don't care if you call them the Olentangy standards, you still have to have standards. In regard to the testing piece, I think we've had this conversation. 15 lost instructional days, a little much. That's a lot of testing. And we handed out last board meeting the regulations of what we called the Faber Plan, the deregulation of school, and part of that was, let's cut down on the testing. How much testing is too much? I think we're there, and I applaud our staff members for hanging in there, because this time of year is absolutely crazy, and in the first place, and when you throw new tests on top of everything else, and House Bill 7 says they're not going to count, and whether they count, whether they don't count, it really doesn't matter. I have all the faith in the world. We're going to do very well. And I know that our kids are in front of quality people on a daily basis, so we will continue to monitor that. Whether they release a report card, whether they don't, it really doesn't matter. But we're going through testing week, and I think our people have done a magnificent job, and that's not a surprise, so we do appreciate that. On the agenda, you have facility rental fees for 2015. Again, we had that discussion at the work session. We have an access drive easement at Olentangy High School for MVS management. I believe you got the update on that. And we have carts for Chromebook devices. Again, we've been down through those Chromebooks, and I can talk a long time about that, but we are requesting approval to purchase Chromebook device carts for, I believe it's right around $176,000 on tonight's agenda. Important dates coming up for you. OEF, Spirit of Olentangy, Community Night, Saturday, March 21st. That's the shops at Worthington Place. I believe most of you were there last year. It's a great opportunity to not only socialize with everyone involved with the Olentangy schools, but also to kind of give thanks for OEF and the work that they do on a daily basis, and we're looking forward to that night. We do have a board business meeting, one meeting in the month of March, and that will be Thursday, March 12th at 6 o'clock. And we have a parent programs team, PPT as it's known, forum. Steve Hedge of the Delaware Mental Health Agency will be presenting a program on dealing with drugs and alcohol. That is Tuesday, April 7th, 7 o'clock at Orange High School. So again, I encourage everyone to take advantage of those PPT forums because they're very beneficial for our parents, and we get a lot of positive comments in regard to those programs. That will do it for the superintendent's report. Any questions before I get into my retirement thank yous? Okay. I want to clear a couple things up first and foremost on retirement. We've had this conversation, and probably the question I've received the most is, why now? And my answer has usually been, well, why not now? I mean, it can't work forever, number one. But I think, going back, and when I say 6 years, 6.5 years, 7 years, I only say that because as far as I was concerned, when the board took a vote in December of '08 to offer me a contract, that's when you become the superintendent. Don't let anybody kid you, because I do recall the phone call from Scott Galloway saying we want you on the team, and I was very flattered. But bottom line is this: when the offer comes and you say yes, you're the superintendent. So some people say, well, it's only been 6 years, because officially I started around spring break of '09, March or so, but really officially I started in December of '08. So the goal, first and foremost, just so everyone knows, was to provide stability and consistency to the school district. We have had those conversations as a board over the years about transitions and how we're going to have a succession plan. Are we going to have a succession plan? And I'm not just talking about the superintendency. We've had the administrative personnel conversations, and they've been very informative, and we get feedback back and forth from board members to superintendent and vice versa. So it's not like it's a surprise, or at least it shouldn't be. Secondly, I've always believed in the concept of leaving something better than it was when you got it. That's the bottom line. When I was a football coach, when we got to the locker room and played the game, when we left, I said to our kids, well, I want this place cleaner than it was when we got here. Some places we played, by the way, that was quite a chore, but we got it done. So that concept is still in place, and the district is in great shape. So to me, a perfect time for a transition is now. It's now. The finances are sound. I know I make Brian nervous, but I think we can stay off the ballot till 17. The employee relations sound. Negotiations taking place up through 16. Performance index all-time high, 108.7. Cost per pupil, $1,000 at least under the state average. So when you're sitting there going, wow, okay, we've accomplished a lot of things, it's a great time to step away and give a new person an opportunity to continue moving the system in a direction that we're currently going. So it is an ideal time. There is no controversies going on. That's what I continue to say. I can't think of a better time to come in as a superintendent and get your feet under you, really, where you're not really dealing with a lot of major issues than right now. So that's really what it's all about. I'm a community member. I want this district, I said from day one, I want it to be the best. I'll say it when I'm sitting at home watching TV. I want it to be the best, because I still send my kids here. So it has to be the best, and that's what we want. So my thank yous, first and foremost, I thank my family. I've talked about this, and yeah, I'm going to want to spend more time. Many sacrifices have been made, and you know, you don't understand what it's like to be associated with the superintendent until you're the superintendent's wife or son or daughter or whatever that may be. That puts everybody under a microscope, and it's been that way for me for 15 years. So it's going to be nice to go to Kroger and, you know, go down the frozen food aisle and somebody else getting that question about, what are you guys going to do tomorrow about this weather? And I'm going to be okay with that. So that's not a problem. Secondly, thank yous. Current board members, I can't say enough, you know, as Kevin put in his president's report, I think so many people say you rubber stamp things, and if they only knew the conversations that took place, if they really knew the conversations that took place and the back and the forth, I think Brian and I are both extremely blessed to have individuals that are so tuned in to a community and a school system, so tuned in, because it's not like that everywhere. And I'll say that many times tonight, it's not like that everywhere. And we have tremendous expertise on this board, and we have individuals that are not afraid to say what they think. And I think that's what moves us forward at all times. So I respect your passion, I respect your enthusiasm, most importantly, your tireless efforts, you know. I mean, I just look around and it absolutely amazes me of how much time you put into a, for lack of a better term, a part-time job, or when you look at pay, hardly a job. So, and it is thankless at times, but I do totally appreciate it, and I know we're in great hands in that respect. Past board members, I'm not going to name them all, but you know, those of you that have been here, you know, I look out here and Julie's the only one that was here when I got here, and they always say in superintendent class, you better know how to count to 3 in this business quickly, and I've been very fortunate to be able to count to 3 and to 4 and sometimes even 5. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing, and I think we need to continue to keep it that way. I hope our community, and I believe they do know and understand the amount of contributions that have taken place over the years of present board members and past board members. District leadership teams, as far as I'm concerned, we have the best one. Linda Martin and I have been together for 15 years, first and foremost, you know. In fact, you know, I don't know whether it's like a brother-sister relationship or whether it's like Radar O'Reilly, where she's, you know, telling me what I'm supposed to be doing before we even think about it. I don't know what type of relationship it is. I just know it's been a very good one. I know it's been a very successful one. I know, you know, we've been together in 3 school districts. It's been a perfect match. I trust her completely. And when we speak as the superintendent's office. And I think that's very critical down the road. Gail Marsh, I've told you this many times. He's the best HR person in this business, and there's no comparison. He not only runs the HR department, that keeps him busy enough. He took over operations, and he's just so steady. But the most important thing I'll always remember and admire about Gail is he's got a tough job. You know, when you're in HR, you have to fire people sometimes. We all know that. But he deals with all of our situations in this district with 3 things: respect, understanding, and dignity. And we've been in some rooms together, he and I, where I just sit there and am amazed at the fact how he keeps his cool and also allows that dignity piece to take place. And I totally thank him for that, and we're in great hands there. Mark Rafe, the beautiful thing about Mark Rafe is the fact we're both former head football coaches, and we still kind of act like that at times when we're together in the room. And by that I mean this: when I coached football, we would argue, we would do other things, and you know, sometimes it might even turn into, you know, pushing and shoving. But when we walked out the door, we were buddies, arms around each other, and saying this is what we're going to do. So I can totally respect that. Brutally honest. That's what we have to be, and that's the relationship that he and I have. and I encourage him to continue to operate in that manner. He came in here and brought him over from Liberty, and we basically sat down and said, you run the academic part of the program. And I knew that because we always talk about, he'll tell you, I'm a lineman, you know, and by the way, I was a quarterback, so the lineman always takes care of the quarterbacks, and he's done a great job with that. I can't say enough about the relationship that we have and the job that he's done. That 108.7 is right over there where he is. So thank you for that, Mr. Rafe. Brian Kern, he's the newest member of our DLT, and he hit the ground running, and you know, he lives in the district, he has kids in the district, he knows and understands the most important word that a finance person must be able to recite: no. Right? He does a good job with that, by the way, and we don't want it any other way. The extra time he spent in staff meetings, coffee chats, school activities has been much noted and much appreciated. I'm going to miss him tremendously because he has the patience of Job. I go through staff meetings and I look at him and say, you're probably going to get 1 minute to get a half-hour worth of information in here because I like to talk, and he just smiles and does his thing. So thank you, Brian. Terry Niehaus is not here tonight, but she's the voice of the superintendent's office, and I get so many compliments about Terry and her helpful attitude, and by the way, she's very good at controlling access to the superintendent. I get calls from buddies that said, geez, that's like Fort Knox over there, right? I can't get in to see you. So thank you, Terry. Job well done. Other central office employees, some of which are here tonight and many of which are not, but all of them need to know and understand. I would love to mention them all, but we would be here till midnight, so I can't do that. I will say this: the central office is where it needs to be, and it took some work to get there. But I'm going to tell you something. They produce at a high quality. Their efforts are appreciated, they're valued, and they're very much needed. And again, our hope is that they continue to stay on and do their thing. Building administration, thank you so much. Goal upon arriving. Had 10-minute meetings, as you recall. By the way, they said you can't do that in Olentangy. You know, it take too long. Well, I didn't get to all 2,000 employees, by the way, but I got to a lot of them. I heard loud and clear, man, that's like the Crystal Palace over there, you know? The cabinet makes the decisions. The goal here was to shift the balance of power back over to the building, at the building level. I think we've made a nice transition. Decision making, we don't get nearly the phone calls because people, as I've told building principals, you own the building. You own the building. That's your building. Anything that happens in that building is your building. Anything that happens in that neighborhood is your building. So I appreciate what they have done there. Each of them have done tremendous jobs. My hope is that as we transition to a new leader, the buildings will continue to set the tone for how we do things in Olentangy. Staff, teachers, support personnel, ESC employees, as far as I'm concerned, this is the heart of the school district. I'm a firm believer the quality of our program is dependent upon the quality of the person that we put in front of those kids on a daily basis, and I'm not just talking about testing. Testing's a wonderful thing, and the PI is a wonderful thing, but I'm talking about things like modeling behaviors, talking about things like being a content expert in what you are doing. I'm talking about developing a joy for learning in kids that sometimes don't want to have a joy for learning. And most importantly, I'm talking about showing true respect for kids and for colleagues. That's an expectation for everyone, not just teachers in this school district. And in my book, they get straight A's. I've said we're a straight A district. That's what I feel about our staff. I'm going to call about 3 of them out. They're here tonight. Association Presidents Elaine Eddy of the OTA, Robert Bell of CMF, and Kevin Vangeloff of Transportation. Thank you for leading your respective unions. For the many hours we have spent together working through specific issues, and I'll say this again, it hasn't always been a happy time. I will tell you this, Robert Bell has a short temper. Right? But he comes right back. He really does. He really does. And by the way, don't think Elaine and I have been pals all along, right? Yeah. And Kevin, he thinks I forgot this, walked out of one of my transportation meetings because he was mad at me a couple years ago. I remember that. Right? The other Kevin. But what I can tell you is this. They're a great bunch of people, and they always treated this relationship as a partnership. Always. We talk about that all the time. And I thank them for that, and I encourage them to continue to do what they've always done. Parents, thank you so much for turning over your most prized possession to us. Thanks for supporting us with your time, your money, your expertise. You know, when I got here, I was told a lot of things when I got here, but I was told, you know, these parents in Olentangy, they're crazy. No is the first step to the process of getting to yes, is what they told me. This much I know. That's not even close to being the truth. The expectations of these parents in Olentangy are extremely high, but guess what? They have the ability and the knowledge to sit down and have an educated conversation and know and understand that, okay, if there's rationale behind those decisions, I might not necessarily agree with it, but I can buy it. I can support you on it. So I want to encourage everyone. These parents know what they want, and that's why they're here. So I'm very appreciative of them. Our community volunteers, support groups. If there's one thing that makes Olentangy different from all the other places, it's the community groups here, because I keep telling people it's not like this everywhere. It's not even close to being like this everywhere. These would include superintendent committees, board committees, OEF, OFK, PTOs, booster groups, African American families, Olentangy Dyslexia Network, the list goes on and on and on and on. Everyone needs to know and understand and recognize these groups, and know and understand that we have a very special thing here, and it's not that way everywhere. Last but not least, the students of the Olentangy Local School District. When I need to pick me up, I go to the schools, put myself in the kids' environment, because that's what we get into education for in the first place, to help kids. The interviews with the juice. If you haven't seen that, by the way, it's Wade versus Wade. You need to check that out. Reading to the Glen Oak first graders. The rivalries between Liberty, Olentangy, and Orange. It's a great, great thing. It's a healthy thing. It's a wonderful thing. I think we need to continue to take advantage of that. And just walking down the halls of the school buildings, I'm going to miss that one tremendously, because the students keep you young, even though we may not look young. To finish up, people keep saying, what's your legacy? What's the favorite thing you've done? What's the best thing you've done? I don't know. It's hard to look back 6+ years, distinguish specific moments and initiatives. I leave that to historians, newspaper writers, people down the road, 3 or 4 years, whatever that may be. I will say one thing. When I got here, I talked about one of the biggest challenges that we have, and I think we'll continue to have this: how do you make big small? How do you make big small? I want to think we've done that through our focus on relationships, diversity, and creating an inclusive organization. I guess I'm most proud of the fact we've created an organization that depends and expects all people to provide opportunities for all kids. All members of the organization have a value in this. All have a role in the education of our students, and all have the awesome responsibility to make a difference in the life of a child. And I'll just leave you with this last challenge, and it's the same challenge I set forth in my retirement letter to staff. And it rings through more and more every day. Every child needs and deserves at least one adult in this world that is irrationally crazy about him or her. Every child needs at least one adult that is irrationally crazy about him or her. It's up to every adult in this organization and community to step forward and be that one person that makes a difference. I thank you for all the memories, and I wish you nothing but the best for everyone. And I will remind you, I'll still be a resident, but as I told you, I think last week, I'm not going to be a Monday morning quarterback. So don't ask me if we should have called school off that day, what I thought, because I'm going to say it was a good call. All right? Questions, anyone? Yes, sir.
I remember in the super report that you did in January that you said in the meeting I need to be more involved. And I remember one of the many times I was involved in your responses. One of them was my investigation into a financial abnormality in salary for a gym teacher that makes over $100,000 a year teaching one gym class. And the other one was an admin asking for hundreds of thousands of dollars in a textbooks.
Yeah,
And the response.
12:30. I just wanted to get back to you in regard to the phone calls to Chris Andrus and Todd Meyer. Just want to emphasize the fact that you can't be calling those employees directly because they've got a job to do. And if you want to know those things, you work through me, Becky, or Dave King. So give me a call when you get a chance regarding what you need from them, because, like I say, they're busy people. And
so did you call me back
for that? Bring it through me. Okay?
I did, and they're too busy.
Pardon me? You did or you didn't?
I did, and they were too busy, or they're told never to speak to me unless they're coached by you. One guy was asking for hundreds of thousands of dollars in textbooks, and he's too busy to talk to me.
Is that why you came tonight?
I have the floor.
Is this why you came tonight?
I have the floor. More involvement. You want a cheerleader to clap for you after every word you say. And what you've got over here are 4 guys that do that all the time, no matter what. Or when someone does their job, you want clapping. That's it. You want a cheerleader. I think I've had just about enough of hearing that for this evening.
So I guess you're done again.
Tonight I am.
Thank you.
Walking out, Adam?
It's good to see you.
Walking out again?
Have a good evening.
Have a good night, Adam.
Perhaps you can resign. Maybe that's what we need you to do, sir, is to resign. That would be the best thing for this district. I'll apologize on behalf of that to tell you that this has become a personal political agenda platform for that man. And we do know he came to do that. So I know you'll forget about it. You probably already have.
Yes.
I know we'll forget about it. And I'll ask the community and the administration and anyone else who wants to do that to please join me in asking for that man's resignation, because we have to be done with it. This is not about agendas. This is about kids. So thank you for what you've done for the kids.
Thank you, Roger. Any other questions?
Not after that.
Thank you all.
I think you had something.
Oh, goodness gracious. Dinner and a show.
That was 4 years ago? Pardon? That was 4 years ago? He's been saving that voicemail for 4 years? Mr. Kern, you have to follow it up with the treasurer's report.
So I got to write a note when someone leaves the meeting here.
Yes, it's official. It'll
We
be
have to vote
For the
on
minutes. For the minutes.
Thank you.
We do have audio and video of this, so I won't write that in the minutes. Sorry. I like to echo some of the sentiments of the board and appreciation of Dr. Lucas. As a person who's lived in this district prior to even having this job, I appreciate his work on behalf of this district, and from a financial aspect too, and with the tremendous growth that we've had, and being able to manage with the limited resources that we have, try to keep the cost per pupil down, and was able to do that from the fiscal side of things is very much appreciated. You don't always have that everywhere, as he mentions. And now that I've been here, I there again have a greater appreciation for his work and his tireless efforts on behalf of the district and the kids. Not only on the financial side of things, but sitting in with coffee chats and people's homes and staff meetings and stuff. And he has the kids' best interests in mind, so I'd leave you with that. And as you're going forward and picking the next superintendent, that would be something, of course, an attribute you'd be looking for. One thing you mentioned, no, too, I was a defensive back in when I played in college, too. So hopefully that's a no, and stop you as quarterback or on the alignment type of thing. So sorry to add a little humor to the evening here. But on this evening's treasurer action items, we do have approval of board minutes from January. The financials for January 2015. I want to touch upon those real quick. I'll start with the expenditure side. As you can see, we're just slightly below estimates at this point of the year. I don't see things changing anything to have a greater, as far as going over expenses, too great, as we're slightly over in personal services at this point of the year. We'll continue to monitor that as we go forward, and any adjustments that need to be made will be reflected in the May update of the forecast. On the receipt side, as you can see, we're above expectations, but that's more of a timing issue as we have tax advances that we request from the county auditor. I expect final settlement to be either this week or next week, so we'll have a better idea how we'll end up for the first half real estate tax collections. So as far as financial reports, I don't know if anybody has any questions on those. We're pretty good as expected as going through the year. I've approved, also on this evening's agenda is treasurer action items, approved FY15 appropriation changes, approved donations. On this evening's donations, we have 2 of them. One is from Tyler Run PTO to the elementary for some iPad Airs, and then Orange Middle School PTO to Orange Middle School, about $24,000 worth of technology ranging from Chromebooks to smart boards to TV monitors. So, as usual, we appreciate, Dr. Lucas mentions those group. We're very appreciative of our boosters and our PTOs and what they contribute to the district. And finally, approve amounts and rates as certified by a Delaware County auditor. This is just a procedural thing. Every year we have to have those approved. I forget the deadline we have to have them approved for, but it's just there again approving the rates as certified by the auditor. So that's it for the treasurer's report this evening.
I have a question, and Brian, I'm not sure if you're the one to answer this, but since it is under your treasurer action items, I had mother ask me, so I said I would ask, on the donations, when PTOs donate computers, are these computers being used in testing because she will not do fundraising if the computers that she's using, that her PTO is buying, is being used in state testing because she does not agree with the state testing? Do you know?
As far as I know, they're not. I know Mike's back there. Mike's shaking his head.
The ones that 2.1 million or whatever that we approved back in December?
1.2.
Or 1.2, sorry, mixed up my numbers, yeah.
Just save you $1 million bucks.
Yeah.
The ones for testing would have to be configured in a way that the testing would secure versus just a off-the-shelf Chromebook, right?
And also the ones for testing, we're still able to use for instructional purposes during the first semester. We just have to secure them. The ones we were talking about, the 1.2 million, we just have to secure them for the security of the test for the second semester.
Thank you.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Carter. We have public participation session number 1.
We do have one. We have Terry Uline. I'd like to talk about Dr. Lucas.
This isn't bad, is it?
My name is Terry Uline. I live at 9309 Gibson Drive in Powell. I have 3 sons who attend or have attended Olentangy local schools. My oldest is Corey. He's now a freshman at Miami University. My other 2 boys are 17 and 15 and are a junior and freshman at Liberty High School. And before I give the thank you, I would just like to say, to be a fan of a district that you're involved in, like I am, of this district and have been since the beginning, I think you have to have a few things that are key, and I think this district sort of has it all. We have Dr. Lucas, who has been a phenomenal superintendent for our schools. We have a great board. The administrations at our schools are just, I've never ever, it's not, every person is going to have a problem if you're raising several kids. You're going to have problems along the way. And I have never had a problem in the school that has not been addressed quickly, swiftly, and taken care of. It's just such a pleasure. So I'd just like to give a thank you to Dr. Lucas for the last 6 years of his service to Olentangy local schools. Dr. Lucas has seen this district through some incredible growth. Upon his arrival, we had approximately 12,000 students in Olentangy schools. 6 years later, we have 19,000. Under Dr. Lucas's tenure, we have opened several new buildings. These include Cheshire, Heritage, Berkshire, Oasis, and the Olentangy Academy. A state report card that was already excellent has seen some tremendous improvement as well. It has gone from 104.9 up to 108.7. Dr. Lucas has helped in passing an operating levy and a bond issue in 2011. These were intended to last 3 years, but with maximizing fiscal management, we have stretched that to at least 6 years and hopefully 7 to 8, which is incredible. Dr. Lucas has worked tirelessly to get to know the Olentangy community. He's conducted hundreds of coffee chats throughout our district. He is ever present at the arts, the athletic contests that our students participate in. He has organized committees to help involve as many community members as who want to be involved and active in their child's lives. Dr. Lucas, I'm one of thousands of grateful parents who would like to thank you for your tireless dedication to a district that was already great, but with your leadership has become one of the best in the state. I thank you for the wonderful leadership you've provided over the last 6 years to Olentangy local schools and wish you the best for you and your family in your retirement.
Thank you.
Well said.
That's very nice. Those are the only public comments. All right, so now we're on to board action items. I'll be honest, we'll just take them together. There's no need to pull them apart.
Yeah.
So entertain a motion to approve board actions items A, B, and C, which would be to accept with regret the resignation of Dr. Lucas, approve changes to the school advocacy committee membership, and to approve educational agreements.
So moved.
Seconded.
Discussion? Maybe you want to start here and go around?
You're sure?
You haven't voted yet.
It is irrevocable.
Well, it's a discussion. I just want to make sure you're sure.
Yeah, we'll see what the vote is, though. Yeah.
The only thing, I'm going to keep with the football theme here, because I'm a huge football fan, even though I've never played. But when I first interviewed Dr. Lucas, we had so many people to interview, and I do this with every interview so that I remember when I go back through things. I write down what I first think, you know. Your first influence is a big one. So I wrote down on the top of my paper, Lou Holtz, which is my all-time favorite football coach because I'm a huge Notre Dame fan, and I was with him when he won the national championship in 1988. And Lou Holtz is somebody who I will go to battle for and go into battle with. And so when I said Lou Holtz, that's who Dr. Lucas reminded me of. At that time, I knew that we were going to have some battles coming up, big one, you know, for school issues. And so I knew at that time, this is the person that could lead me into battle. I would go to battle with him. And so I'm glad we made that decision, and I'm glad that it was the right decision, because to this day, he still reminds me of the greatest college football coach ever, Lou Holtz.
Well, thank you. Well, thank you. And you sent me a picture, too.
Yes.
Framed of Lou
and
Holtz.
you're from the same part of Ohio.
That's right. Yes, thank you, Julie.
Yeah.
I would just like to say, and aside from my short time on the board, I'd like to just thank you for the mentorship outside. You know, I had the great joy of being involved in the athletic boosters, music boosters, and things like that, and we went through some tugs of war. We're trying to improve facilities for our kids, and there were times when I was near the end of my rope after about 1,800 volunteer hours. I can't get back on turf, but I appreciated that the steady direction, I guess, that you gave me. So I will miss it, but I know you're going to be around. So as long as you don't change your cell phone number, life's good.
That's right. Thank you, Roger.
When I printed a copy of the agenda the other day when it was sent out, I wrote down 2 words to try to summarize the experience. And it was nice to see, starting with your letter, which I think was nicely done, Kevin, and hearing the comments and your own comments, it was nice to see that both of these words were addressed in one form or another. Partnership. Clearly, Olentangy has succeeded at such an extreme level because there's so many levels of people and groups, students, teachers, etc., that were all addressed, being involved with this district. But of course, tonight we're talking specifically about you And the other word is personality. That you had the respect, the appreciation, the understanding of all of these different levels of involvement to make this an exceptional district. And I've always appreciated that, and I've told you this before, that I admire your ability to have that conversational respect level with all kinds of people and organizations. And I remember sitting around the table when I was part of that informal interview group before it went to the board, and OEF and the development committee and et cetera are all represented, and we're all asking, how do you feel about volunteer groups, et cetera? And you gave the right responses with the right feeling about all of that, and it's clearly shown throughout your whole tenure here. So the right personality, the right way to engage people and organizations, and your partnership and the respect that you've shown to so many conditions is greatly appreciated.
Thank you, David.
Well said. All right. So with that, I guess we'll call the roll.
How many votes does he need? Does he?
You have to count to 3.
Yeah.
Mrs. Fiesel?
With deep regret, yes.
Mr. Bartz?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Oh, sorry. Also with respect and deep regret, but understanding. Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes. Okay, so those action items pass 4-0. Mr. Kern, you want to present the treasurer's action items?
Yes, I present this evening action item A, approve board meeting minutes for January 22nd, 2015. Action item B, approve financials for January 2015. C, approve amended FY15 appropriations at the fund level. D, approve donations to the district. And E, approve amounts and rates as certified by the Delaware County Auditor.
I'll move.
Okay, second?
Second.
Any discussion? Let's call the roll.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mrs. Fiesel?
Yes.
Mr. Bartz?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes. So those items pass 4-0. Dr. Lucas, you want to present the superintendent action items?
I ask to present superintendent action items A through L for approval, please. The L, by the way, would be the student overnight trip that we added.
I'll move.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, please call the roll.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Bartz?
Yes.
Mrs. Fiesel?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes. So those items pass 4-0. I'll now entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All right, please call the roll.
Mrs. Fiesel?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Bartz?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes. So that concludes our business meeting for tonight. We meet again on March 12th, and then we will be posting a special meeting of the board in that second half of March to begin the search process. Okay, we'll post that appropriately. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay.